How many of you were here or were over there for our last one?
The Hard Rock Cafe. Oh, yeah, a couple, not everybody. That's okay.
Oh, do we still have to do this one though?
Yeah, no, it's just. Well, if you look at the chart. I don't think we need a mic, do you? I think we can probably do okay.
Yeah.
All right, does anyone else need a mic or anything?
Just me.
We survived the Hard Rock.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, just barely.
With the traffic outside.
Yeah.
It's not the same with the sound of motorcycles.
Yeah, go over there and make some motorcycle sounds. Much better. There we go.
Thank you, Barney. Always the good sports.
I mean, we can just start like as a Q&A though. So I mean, okay, we'll just go down the line, introduce who we are real fast. I am Doug Walker. Got a website called channelus.com. Do a lot of shows, including bum reviews, As I Got the Glasses, Sibling Rivalry, bunch of vlogs, and also Nostalgia Critic. And right here is.
I am Barney Walker. I'm a producer. I produce Doug and Rob, along with their mother down there. And
you produce Mom? How'd you do that?
Very carefully. And for the site, Jim J. Roz and I do all the technical work on the site, plus you occasionally see us when Doug needs someone handsome, he gets Jim. If he needs a geezer, he gets me. And I am also the chief decomposer of the site. And if you want to know what that is, come to the WTFU panel, and we'll show you how to get around the bots.
Yeah, you see why we do that. Cool. This guy?
I'm Brad Jones. I play the Cinema Snob on Channel Awesome. I also produce a series with TuneWorks called Lloyd. I do a show called Midnight Screenings. I'm the writer of an upcoming movie called Jesus Bro.
And we got the director here too.
There's the director right there. Thanks you silly goose.
Better get paid, sure.
And I do like 100 other shows too.
Hi, I'm Tamara Chambers. I am an actress on Nostalgia Critic, and I also do a show called Tamara's Never Seen. There's a new episode coming out today. Back to the Future. And I'm also a theater actress and stand-up comedian in Chicago.
Cool. That too.
I'm Malcolm Ray. I'm an actor. I've been with Channel Awesome for about 4 years now. I'm a voice actor out of Chicago, Stewart Talent, and it's great to be here.
Okay. We're going to wait officially until 3 o'clock so we can let people come in, because like I said, we want to shoot something real fast with you guys, real easy, put in this Nostalgia Critic video. But until then, we're just going to do some straightforward Q&A, so if you got a question, just raise your hand and we will answer it for you. As in now, you can raise your hand and we will answer it for you. Wow, this is going to be really oh, okay, Boy Scouts.
How many people have sent asked you to sign Crystal Pepsi bottles?
Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
They're all empty, too. It's a big tease. I just drink it right in front of them. I would say 5 or 6, maybe. Yeah. That was, I think I signed more Crystal Pepsi bottles yesterday than I bought anything else. It was cool.
Well, and my favorite is that I was telling him, because I tried Crystal Pepsi on this research, I was just like, oh, it's terrible. What's wrong with you, Brad? It's awful, awful. And someone gives him a present of like these 2 crates of Ecto Cooler.
Yeah.
And he looks at me, he's like, you're not getting a drop. Because of what you said about Crystal Pepsi, you don't get it. No! And then
It's time now.
and then the audience laughs and we shrug and the Fresh Prince music plays. It's great. So cool. All right, another question here. What we got? Yeah, Red Hat.
What tips would you like to give to future critics?
Don't do it. I mean, what I'd say to everyone that wants to try to turn this into a full-time career, particularly if you want to do like a video thing, really the #1 thing is do it because you want to do it. Don't do it to get famous. Don't do it to make a living, because there's a very strong chance it won't happen. Even if you're great, even if you're phenomenal, there's still a strong chance it won't happen because there's just so many people out there right now, and anyone can do it. Anyone can go into it, and there's a lot of factors of how they can catch on, right place, right time. But if you're doing it because you love it, then you can look back, and even if it goes nowhere, even if it doesn't catch on, you can be like, I'm glad I did that. That was really cool. I'm glad I devoted my time to that because that was really a lot of fun. But then if it does catch on, you'll be all the more thankful and you'll be all the more humble to the people that made it happen, because, you know, there are some dicks out there that'll just be like, away with you, I'm famous. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you'll appreciate all the more. Everything else is kind of what they say, just be persistent, just be honest with yourself, like, watching it, would you watch it? Would you click on the video? How long would you watch it? If not, how do you change it? And just be brutally honest, I think is the best thing I can come up with.
Have thick skin.
Have thick skin. Which I think, again, there's some things you'd think would go without saying, but there's a lot of people that do respond to the YouTube comments like, you shut up, how can you say that? And it's like, it's the internet. This thing's been around for a while, you should know how it works. But yeah, just know, I always say if, when I get really concerned is when the comments are actually really positive. Then I'm like, okay, I have a failure video. It's not gonna get that many hits. It's when they get really, you can't say that, you son of a bitch, you get blah, blah, blah. I'm like,
you again.
yeah, whatever, any time somebody says they'll never watch you again, you have a fan for life. So yeah, any other?
No, that pretty much says it right there. Do it because you like doing it and because you love movies or whatever it is you're talking about, that you actually have a passion for it and really like talking about it, and you would have fun doing it and talking about it regardless of how many people are watching it.
And if you could start a fight with a popular video game nerd, that really helps. my favorite is when people try, like, people that have like no views and stuff try to start fights with me to do the same thing. I'm like, yeah, this will work. Yeah. I challenge you, Cinema Snob. Oh yeah, I'll accept. Cool. Let's do another one here. Let's do upside down cross there. I'm curious what you had to say.
This is kind of for everyone. Do any of you have like a favorite episode or aspect of an episode that you've worked on for a channel project? For a channel awesome project?
Like favorite making or favorite final project?
Either or, whatever you find more important to you, I guess.
My favorite episode is the Mad Max one. That's my absolute favorite. I love that one. In terms of funnest to work on, I've been asked that a lot, and I always forget what I say.
Yeah.
Rob always brings up the Star Wars one. That was a lot of fun. Honestly, I'm gonna sound like a kiss ass, but anytime to work with Brad, it's always a lot of fun. Because he's just really, really funny and really upbeat, and it's just really, really cool. And the Batman Superman one, because Joe is a lot of fun to work with, and he is just so energetic and so just doesn't tire, and he's just always up for anything. I remember there's a shot I missed. And our costumes are hard to get into, the Batman, Superman costumes. And we were out of them, we were about to go shoot something else, like actually at a different location. I'm like, oh no, there's this one shot, it's an important shot. I'm like, Joe, I'm so sorry, I need you to get in the outfit again, I gotta get in the Batman. He's like, that's cool. It's a shoot. I know how this works, it's fine. You know, and like just nothing, like, when in terms of working, he loves to work, and I just love people that love to work. They're like, you know, I get it, let's do it. Like, they just understand it, they go in willingly and chipperly, so yeah, no, that's really cool.
It was like during Taboli Fleet too, like, oh, we need to put you in this Darth Vader helmet again in the 90-degree room, and I'm just like, all right.
I was gonna hug you a lot, except I know you're already very hot.
It was very sweaty. Let me wipe some of this on you. The most fun that I had was the Star Wars Force Awakens video. I mean, anytime I get to play Harrison Ford, I love it. And wasn't doing Harrison Ford in the holiday special too was even like, I know this is an important day. I loved doing that and seeing Jar Jar Binks step in shit all through his house. Like, I had so much fun doing that.
How about you, Tamara?
Like anytime we get to do like crossovers with people, anytime someone comes in, it's really fun. Like Dante Bosco, that was a really fun episode.
Yeah.
And like Black Nerd and yeah. That's my answer. Unless someone new comes in, it's bad.
Just anything that's not me.
I see you sneaking in.
Drop some deuce.
That was the stall, because I can't think of my favorite episode. I think any episode where I can kind of like play across from myself. That's always fun to like play with. At the devil episode where we were all in the elevator, I really liked that dynamic where the twist was made, where it was like not actually the devil, it was Santa Claus as the devil. It was really fun.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet. Spoilers.
But there's another twist to make up for it, so if you haven't seen it, still there's another twist.
Yeah, there's like a double twist in that one.
Actually, it might even be a triple twist the more I think about it.
Shelley side up was the twist.
Oh, you did?
Mine was all the prep work Jim and I did for Hocus Pocus, and we worked really hard on the wigs, especially the wig that Tamara wore doing the Kathy Nachimi, and the outfit for Beth, who did the original, Sarah Parker?
Sarah Jessica Parker, yeah.
But especially when we finished up with Doug, and we had him walk into the other room where other people were there, and they took a look at him as Bette Midler, and they were just blown away because, I don't know if it's a good thing or not, he looked so much like Bette Midler. And we had a bunch of people said, "Where did you get those teeth?" Now, we bought teeth, but they didn't work, so we had to do this.
Oh, thank you, darling. I know they were even saying, like, do the teeth. I'm like, I don't need them. Even my aunt was like, where'd you get those fake teeth? They're my teeth. No, they're not. No, it's a very easy face to do. Okay, so we wait a little bit. Panel's officially started here, so I'm going to get you guys a Nostalgia Critic video on what it is. The one I'm reviewing next, after so many years of people asking, it's the third animated Titanic movie. So the way it starts. You leave that masterpiece alone. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna get the camera on you guys, and as the NC, I've already shot my stuff, but I come up here and I say, all right, well, here I am in Niagara Falls. What will you guys want me to see? Want me to review? I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3. Y'all go the third animated Titanic movie. I go, what? Are you sure? And I'll go 1, 2, 3. The third animated Titanic movie. Are you really sure? The third animated Titanic movie. I say, fine. Screw you all. And y'all go, yay! I even have, hold on, someone's even gonna hold up a sign here. It says, yo, Boy Scout raises his hand first. You know it?
No, it's Bolt!
Oh, okay, sorry.
I love it! It's awesome! Yeah.
Alright, so on the first time I say 1, 2, 3, everybody chants and you hold it right up and you just keep it up the whole time. That sounds really suggestive, and it is. Alright, so I'm just going to get this on here. Oh god, you all look ridiculous. I love it. Get the exposure on manual here. Alright, so again, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, the third animated Titanic movie. Alright, and then I'll do it again. 1, 2, 3, the third animated Titanic. We'll do it 3 times, and I'll say you got cheer. 1, 2, 3. I'll go yay! Okay, so very, very easy. Okay, let me see if I get this even further back. Because I want to get as many of you in as possible. Even my mom, which would be very confusing. Alright, y'all ready? Yeah. Right, 1, 2, 3. The third animated movie! Great, okay, we're going to do it again. Yeah, go ahead, keep the sign up. Alright, ready? And 1, 2, 3. The third animated movie! Great. Last one, you're gonna say it again, except this one, you're gonna be angry, like, god damn it! Third animated Titanic movie. Alright, y'all ready? And 1, 2, 3. The third animated Titanic movie! Guy raising the chair, that's great. Okay, and this one you're just all gonna cheer. Say I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, and you just all go, yay! Alright, you ready? And 1, 2, 3. Just go longer than that, come on! Okay, keep going until I say stop. Okay. Alright. Yeah, Alright, y'all ready? And 1, 2, 3. fill out these forms. Okay. Next question. No, I'm not kidding. Next question. Yeah.
Is there any movies or media that you absolutely refuse to view or review?
View or review? I'm trying to think. Like, well, it was we're doing the third animated Titanic. But I'm trying to think. Like, a lot of stuff I don't know about. Like, a lot of people want me to do like Digimon and stuff like that. I did one with Hope a while back, but I was just like, I don't know anything about it. So, and I want to represent it right. A lot of people want me to do Toonami, and I was just after my time. Or like when Cartoon Network first came on, they wanted to do like Dexter's Lab and like Powerpuff Girls, and I know a little bit about it, but like not a ton. So it's got to be something I know about and can talk in great deal about, I think. What about you, Brad?
Well, like we were mentioning earlier, like that I found that one Titanic movie that was like a Nazi propaganda film. I was like, yeah, I was like, maybe I could do something with that. I don't know, but then like the backstory of it was like really dark. Like the director was like killed like afterwards. So I'm like, oh, I better not just be like, boy, like the director's a tough audience. Like, what am I gonna do with that? So, like that. Something like that, like it'd be one thing to like seriously like analytically talk about it or something, but not on like the cinema snobs.
Yeah.
He jokes.
Cool. Actually, that brings up a good question. Like for Tamara's never seen, is there anything you're just like, no, I will never see that?
No.
Give her the Nazi Titanic movie.
I'll do it.
Tamara's never seen Titanic.
Cool. All right. Next question here.
Accidentally.
In the back there, blonde wig. Yeah.
Whatever you have to say. In the Ghost Dad review, I saw that you did really good Sam and Max impressions.
Oh yeah.
I have a request for a friend at home. In your Sam voice, can you say you're simply one hell of an investigator?
I'm one hell of an investigator. I mean, I can do a better one for you, like later, like up close.
I like it. It's rude. Really impressed.
After hours.
Malcolm Triple X.
You joke. I have a movie that's called that.
Cool.
I can record one for you at the signing.
Yeah, the sign. We have a signing on the Canadian side after this, by the way, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, we also have a panel there, and then we also have panels tomorrow, and I think we have a signing here tomorrow. Not positive, but yeah, just come and see us. We're glad to see you. Except you. I don't like you. I purposely point to the wall so nobody would be like, Harvey. I don't like you, Harvey. All right, Dark White. Yeah, Black Tree.
Hi, we were waiting at the dealer's room for you guys for like an hour. My question is actually for Doug and Brad. One of my favorite movies of all time is the 1976 King Kong.
Nice.
I wonder if you guys are ever going to review that, mostly because like I know Brad, you've mentioned it a couple times in the midnight screenings. I don't know with Kong Skull Island coming out if you're gonna do that.
That'd be a good one for you, actually.
76 King Kong.
Is that the Jeff Bridges one?
Yeah,
that's the
Charles
one.
Grodin.
I only saw. I remember everybody hated it, but I never saw it all the way through. The effects when I saw it on TV were pretty impressive. Are they still good or no?
The effects?
Yeah.
I mean...
Get the Blu-ray, it's better quality.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I really like that. That'd be the style of episode. I could see myself doing that. It'd be like a style of episode I did like when I did Mommy Dearest.
Yeah.
Where it would be like, it's the snob, but through satire, it's a very like complimentary video. I could see doing something similar with King Kong 76 because I actually really love that movie.
And then you gotta watch the second one, which is just awful.
That was bad. King Kong Lives. Yeah, that was.
Oh, maybe that's the one I'm thinking of.
Oh, that was the Linda Hamilton one.
Maybe that's the one I heard. Yeah, one I heard was really awful. Maybe
That's King
what I'm
Kong
thinking
Lives.
of. Okay, that's gotta be
That
it. Yeah, so you never know. Maybe we'll check that one out. Let's see. So yeah, guy with the ear necklace. Again, I'm very curious what you're gonna ask.
For your sake, not to bring the mood down or anything, but I'm just wondering for all of you, because Doug, you've been doing this for like almost 10 years now. I'm just wondering how much longer do you see all of you just doing this with like the Channel Awesome reviews and acting in that sort of department, or do you see yourself branching into different types of media soon?
Well, I'd like to announce this is my official last episode.
Titanic 3.
Well, I was gonna say the last time I tried to stop didn't work out very well, so I'm just gonna go till I die. And even now, I'm trying to find a way not to die because I don't think that'd be a good career choice. I mean, I love doing it, and I sort of got into second wind and the sort of this different way of doing things when we brought the character back. So, I mean, I'm not looking in the near future like, yeah, I should be wrapping this up or anything. It's still fun to do, and I feel like there's always something to comment on, and because I think people like remakes and reboots and they keep coming and coming, I think there's always gonna be something to comment on for a while. So, I mean, I don't see any end in sight. I'm certainly open to doing other things. I do other things, but I'm not seeing any end in sight necessarily anytime soon. You know, knock on wood. Yeah.
Same here, honestly. I've been doing it for 10 years, or almost 10 years, and I still love doing it. But, you know, it's all about keeping the show and everything fresh, not just for the audience, but for yourself too. Like, for instance, the Cinema Snob, like incorporating other types of movies into the shows. Like this year, there's been a lot more like religious movies on there. So it's all about kind of keeping things fresh on there. But outside of that, I also love doing other things too, mixed in with the Cinema Snob, whether it's movies or like the Lloyd animated series or other little minor shows and everything we do. So yeah, it's all about kind of keeping things fresh and original as it goes along. So I still love doing it, and I plan on doing it until I die at the ripe old age of 38.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause my Crystal Pepsi. Yeah, green, yellow, back there.
So I just got here, so sorry if this question like this has been asked. But
You should be.
I am a film student. Is there anything off the top of your head that you could tell me to avoid in my studies?
Avoid in your studies?
Just because I want to be a screenwriter and director.
I mean, just study what you're interested in, what you like, what you think you have potential in. Maybe even something that, it sounds weird, but maybe something you might not like too. Sometimes it can broaden your horizons, but I know college is expensive too. Yeah, I just study what you love and what you know, and just keep an ear out and just, you know, do what you know, write what you like, and just be brutally honest with yourself. That's what I said before.
My first movie when it comes out, but like you do a review.
Yeah, but you have to purposely make it bad. So yeah, I mean, anybody, you too?
I dropped out of film school. From the.
Get out!
Do you have any pointers, Ryan? You graduated film school.
Not my panel. Not my panel.
He's always like, I secretly dropped out too.
I graduated from Columbia. My best advice would be to like just kind of diversify your studies. Like, I mean, you're going to concentrate in screenwriting, but you know, take a little bit of everything. You know, learn a little bit about the industry as a whole, not just that one aspect, because that'll limit you severely.
Yeah, I guess I say for a lot of us, I mean, we all kind of went in fields where it's like, it's kind of what we study, but it's kind of not as well. And I hear that so often, people that go to college either get in something that's not exactly what they want, but kind of close, or just not at all what they wanted, but they actually like it fine. So, I mean, I say, if you really want, go for it, but I mean, don't resist something that's actually good or okay, because it's not exactly what you wanted.
I was on an opera scholarship, and film was just like a decision.
Opera scholarship, too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, you already got like a pretty cool variety there. So yeah, I mean, to take advantage of all of that. Yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. Is just take advantage of whatever opportunity you got.
Yeah.
So yeah, cool. Let's see. Let's do yeah, gray hair there. Yeah.
Oh yes, I'm Bruce Dickinson. Yes, the Bruce Dickinson. No, I actually had two questions. One for Doug and Brad, the other for Tamara and Malcolm. I think a lot of people who are interested in doing shows would like to know about the way that characters kind of come to your minds. Because Doug and Brad, you guys have made up a lot of like main characters, like Nostalgia Critic and Chester Bum, but also created a lot of kind of interesting ones. Devil Boner, Hyper Fangirl. Brad, you've done so many characters. Like, can you explain like what process works and doesn't work for that kind of creativity, for just kind of inventing characters?
You know, I can actually say that I got asked this yesterday, and I'll give you the even shorter answer. Just passion. I think I have a passion for it because I remember early on we started doing all these videos and these different characters, and sometimes something funny can come out. But Ask That Guy came from my boss Mike Machad just calling up saying, "Ask a Ninja's doing really well. Do Ask That Guy." Click, and I don't know what that is. What the hell's Ask That Guy? So I was just like, well, all right, what would it be? The guy that I get every answer wrong. You know, every answer would always have to be wrong, but I look so sophisticated and smart that it sounds right. And from that just came this awful, terrible, everything that's wrong with everything character, and it just kind of evolved. It was just fun to do. And when I got done with it, I said, I'll kill him off. I'm done with this guy. But then there's also a character like, what was it? It was a show called How to Be a Pirate. And I was saying, I'm forcing this. I'm really forcing this. And I killed him off very quickly. I think I did like 4 or 5 episodes. I just felt like, nah, this is turning into a gimmick now, and I don't like it. I don't have a passion for it. So, yeah, anything that didn't last very long, usually I didn't have a passion for, except for demo reel. But yeah, that's usually the big thing. I just say, kind of just do what you love with a character. Really find something to love about the character.
But I mean, the characters don't have too much like overthought, and they just sort of like pop into being.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of things that you like. Let's say you love chocolate. It's like, why? Well, you don't overthink it. You just love it, and you can talk about forever why it's so great, and you know you eat it forever and stuff. But it's like it's just a very simple passion. It's a very simple love, and just exploit the hell out of it.
I mean, it's kind of like throwing a lot of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. Like when I first started the site, I created like I think 4 or 5 other shows to go along with the Cinema Snob, and again, it was kind of throwing stuff at the wall and to see what sticks. And then at that time, 2008, 9, something like that, when I started the website, like the side shows I created there, I had for the ones I did, I had passion to do them, like it was fun to do, and then over time, you just kind of go off and do other things. So it's like what you were saying, sort of like once you lose that drive to do that particular character, you just kind of go on to other things and create newer stuff. Other things just kind of happen more like organically, like 80s Dan, where that came about from, I think, the Caligula episode, where it was just a side joke. It was like, there were different characters in the site that were popping up, and then 80s Dan, who wasn't a character, and that was the joke. Like, what? You're not a real character. He's like, I'm not real, and he disappeared. That went over so well that I was like, maybe I should do something with this.
It's like a double boner suddenly got a series.
Yeah.
Don't tempt me.
Yeah, so I gave like the 80s Dan character his own series. Like, so some stuff kind of just happens a little organically like that.
Actually, even sort of off of that, like Devil Boner and Hyper Fangirl are currently a couple, and that just went off. I just need an end joke for the Mad Max review, and you know, I think something where they find out like they're part of the Tom Hardy fangirl club, like the Die Hard fangirl club, and they find out he's a method actor, like ugh, and then they look at Devil Boner, are you a feminist? He's like, I'm whatever you want me to be. And, you know, and they walk off. And then, like, I started thinking, I'm like, that'd be a really funny couple. And I just brought them back in the Cinderella one. And now we're just loving it. We're thinking what else we can do with that couple.
Like the Rickhead is a character that started out from this show I did called The Reviewers, and the Rickhead was this troll character that David Gobble played for my site, and it was pretty funny to do and write for. And now, and it was just this side character, and now the Rickhead is like the lead character in the next movie we're doing, Jesus Bro. So it's just kind of funny how things evolve into other things.
And he had one for Malcolm and Tamara.
One for Malcolm and Tamara. I'm interested in what you guys are interested in doing creatively, because Malcolm, you mentioned studying film at Columbia College Chicago. Tamara, you do stand-up and stuff like that. So for Malcolm, what kind of aspects of production have really kind of stuck with you or interested you, and where do you see further going with it? And Tamara, for the stuff that you do, like what inspires you as somebody who does stand up, and you know, what do you gain that kind of inspiration and material from?
Well, see, for me, I'm really interested in the genres of like thrillers and dramas. Like a Japanese film called House. It kind of like played around with the genre of horror and comedy. And I always thought that was really, fascinating myself. I really want to, take that and run with it at some point and see where that can go. But yeah, and aside from that, like action is also a passion of mine, because I'm a big fan of like, Jackie Chan and Jason Statham movies. Like those, they're just so ridiculous and over the top. Like but they're so cool at the same time. Like seeing that organic type of action, like these actors are doing their own stunts, and that's something I want to experiment with.
You see yourself studying like to edit or produce action scenes, or work on that genre?
Oh yeah, and I've also studied martial arts as well, and I've taken like some stunt classes. So that's something that I'm looking into doing potentially too. That I've actually talked with Doug about. Because
Yeah, we haven't had the video yet, but both him and Lando are like, want to do a fight scene,
Yeah,
like, when the
Lando.
review calls for it. So we got 2 weeks to make these, and usually just 1 day to film them. I mean, it's like, you can't just, and fight each other. It's like, not that easy. but I like to do it too, because I like action too,
yeah.
I grew up always playing like the funny role in like theater things. I was never like the ingenue part, and so in high school I was like, I think I'll probably be really good at stand-up. I did a stand-up routine in this show we did in high school, and it wasn't my material, it was Rita Rudner's material. And it went over really well because she's hilarious, and I just did it like word for word. I was like, wow, I'm so good at stand-up. Hilarious. I was like, I really want to move to Chicago, and Rachel and I were like, let's just go to Chicago, and it's like, I'm just going to do stand-up there because it's a great city for that. And then I was not great at stand-up. I was really bad for a while, and it was just kind of a fun thing to like expand upon and get better at, so I was really comfortable doing theater. And I think it's not something I really want to do professionally, but I think it's really helpful for shoots and like just timing wise, and yeah, but I think what I really want to focus on is like commercial work and theater in Chicago.
Cool. All right, next question here. Let's say, I'll go with Shredder.
For Brad and Doug.
Oh, Roku Saki!
For Brad and Doug, what makes a good villain?
I would think you would know. Man, that's tough because I mean the two that I love the most are either like just the most, they're completely evil, like nothing redeemable, and they're just so charming, and they, like the Disney ones like Frollo or Maleficent, I mean those are great villains. But I think of like really sympathetic ones like Zuko or like Ramesses from Prince of Egypt and stuff like that. I go to animation for some reason, it's weird, but yeah, something about those kind of villains, like those two sides, I think are the most interesting. Where if you're gonna go evil, go all out evil. Like just make them like so loving it, and so you just like hate you so much. Or you want them where it's like you want them to be good and you're rooting for them, but then they're evil, and it's like damn it, because they're so human. So I say kind of one of those two sides, if they can really flesh those two out. If you're just a boring bully from a Stephen King movie,
being memorable for one, like regardless of what, it depends on what type of movie you're talking about. Like if it's like something that's a cartoon, then totally being just larger than life, over the top. Like the best comedy ever made is a movie called The Great Raise. Jack Lemmon is Professor Fate in that.
I've stolen a lot from this character.
Yeah, like that's just the greatest like comedy villain of all time. But like other than that, like best movie villain, like Hans Gruber in Die Hard. like memorable, charming, charismatic, and when you look at things from his character's point of view, it's like, yeah, this guy's evil, but I know why he's doing everything in this movie from his character's point of view. Like, yeah, it's totally evil, but he's got a master plan, he's trying to do this and everything, he's just trying to steal some shit. That's the best action movie villain, probably the best movie villain of all time. So honestly, whether you're talking about like over-the-top cartoon comedy or something like intimidating, charming, then you at least need, regardless, you need two things, like charisma, and at the end of the day, just be memorable and not forgettable.
I like a good villain too, because there are movies where the villain is the best part, it overshadows the hero, but it's, when you have a really good one, they're supposed to be good so they can make the hero's journey look more difficult, and so you root for them more. So I like when you have a really good villain, you have to try even harder on the hero, and I like that. I like that kind of forces you to do that, because the bad guys are always more fun. People like playing bad guys, I like watching bad guys, but it kind of forces you then to start, okay, well, we still gotta root for Iron Man or Captain America or whoever, we want to root for these people. Batman the Joker, I mean, those are two, that's a great hero and a great villain, and they're both equally strong. And one we know very little about, one we know everything about. and just polar opposites, and they complete me. So yeah, I think just something like that is really, really good.
Yeah, like Scorpio and Dirty Harry is over the top, crazy, sadistic, like really legit scary. And it just makes you root that entire time for Dirty Harry to just shoot this guy. Because Andy Robinson is so good in that movie.
So where do you put Hannibal Lecter?
Hannibal Lecter?
Hannibal Lecter.
Like Hannibal Lecter, I mean, really, Buffalo Bill's the villain.
Yeah, that's my thought. He's much more scary.
Yeah.
I was never scared of Hannibal. The first time you see him, I thought that was scary. Him just standing there with the eyes, I'm like, ooh, like that's good. But then he's a James Bond villain. That's all I ever see him as. I mean, he's fine, but he's like you say, he's a cartoon. He's not like, ooh, I'm really afraid this guy can exist. No, that's Buffalo Bill. That's the real creepy, uncomfortable. And Lecter's he's a great, Batman villain. So cool. Another question. Let's see. Yeah, hats with the eyes on them.
Thanks. I was wondering what you think the most controversial episode you've ever put out is.
Most controversial episode we've ever put? You probably have more than I do. Or maybe not. Maybe you're immune to them because you always try to go for like the shock material. Anyway.
For the Cinema Snob, yeah, everyone kind of expects, like, cause that's a show that has episodes on, like, I Spit on Your Grave, so, and Caligula, so controversial than the midnight screenings for the remake of Ghostbusters, where I'm just like, it was and like, just like, kill yourself! Those get more controversial than the Cinema Snob does.
I can't say it's the most controversial, but it is the one where we were afraid if it was going to be controversial. It was the same thing. It was Ghostbusters because we did. I know. It's like none of us can believe it's Ghostbusters. We're like, this can't be the movie that's getting everyone's like, a war will start over Ghostbusters. Like this is so stupid. But so we did our sibling rivalry on it. It got more likes than dislikes, but it was kind of rising up. And then we did an Awesome Comics on it, and the video is 40 minutes long. 10 minutes after it was up, it got 60 dislikes. Like, they clearly didn't even watch the video. That's how much people just want to hate this movie and not listen to anything and be stuck in their bubble. So while we were doing our review, we were having fun and everything, but there was kind of this cloud. Like, man, is this just going to attract all the people that are just like, clearly never gone outside and just stay on the computer and just like are waiting for all of our videos. Just dislike, I'm powerful. So we're kind of thinking like, is this, we're thinking, should we change things? Should we rewrite things? And somewhere in between, I remember, especially you two, you're like, man, this is funny, but you always kind of said it like, it's a shame, like, we'll probably have to change it or do something different. And I've had to just say, screw it. No, we're going to keep this exactly how it is. That's why I think this is funny, and I don't care if people dislike it. I think we really got to put it out there. And I think that's why that review worked and why so many people did like it. Because they're like, thank you for finally pointing out the insanity of both sides. It's not just one, just everybody's acting stupid about this. What was that?
One of your best
thank you.
I've seen,
But yeah, I can't say it was like necessarily controversial because it went over well, but that was the one where you felt the controversy going in, and you shouldn't. It's freaking Ghostbusters. Grow the fuck up.
Why are you so easy on that movie? I'm like, because I've seen 50 Shades of Black.
So, that's the one that, I'm sure there's ones that are more controversial, but that's the one that's like popping in my head.
It was controversial to your mother.
Yeah, well, this gives you an idea of the fan base you're dealing with, or the one side of the brain working or whatever is that. Because after we saw the movie, we're just talking about what we thought, and like, I don't even think she waited. My mom just stood up and said, that sucked! Just totally hated the movie. So we brought that up in the vlog because anyone that says they don't like the movie, misogynist! So we said, well, our mom's a misogynist because she didn't like the movie, and we're making jokes about it and stuff. And someone wrote in the comments, I don't think your mom's a misogynist. I think she just didn't like the movie. And it got like 100 upvotes, like, yeah! And it's like, there's a side of the brain that does not get humor. And it is like just this lack of intelligence and wants to stay in this box and just does not want to change or evolve, and that's a shame. You know, because I mean, people should evolve and they should change. There's so many wonderful things out there that you can be, you know, opened up to. But no, it's just like, you know, I don't think she's a misogynist. It's like, good for you. You get humor almost. So
start with to be fair.
yeah, actually.
Just say.
Yeah, that's anytime somebody starts off to be fair, it's rarely fair. It's usually to indulge my prejudice.
Yeah.
That's usually what that means. So cool. Other questions here. See, let's go in the back here. Let's do very back, black. I think Suko. Yeah.
My question's for Brad. What's the worst thing you've tried on Brad Fries?
You should have done a Chinese restaurant.
Oh, I had some Chinese food for lunch earlier. Spoiler, it wasn't very good. That was just lunch, I didn't even film that. You know what? It's probably still the Brussels sprouts soda. That was on like one of the Jones Soda holiday packs. Like I can't remember which one. It's been a number of years, but it was already old for one, and like it tasted like just like warm carbonated butter that was like 5 years old. It's the closest I've come to just outright gagging on camera just from. There's been a couple episodes where I did get sick afterwards, but it wasn't because it tasted nasty. It was just an old problem. Like I downed a bottle of Zima a few months ago. Oh, that is 20 years old. No, the Brussels sprout soda probably still the worst thing I've had on Brad Tries.
Wow, I need to watch that one.
It's one of those holiday pack videos.
Cool. Another question. Let's see. Yeah.
Hey. Okay, two questions. One for all of you. Who's one director that you would love to work with?
A director I love to work with? Oh man, that's tough.
Ryan Mitchell.
Yeah.
This man right here.
I mean, do you mean like as an actor or like as a co-director?
Either.
I don't know if I could do co-directing because I think the egos just get too, you know, they're going to keep battling each other. I so rarely hear that work. I mean, when Rob and I do a review, we're kind of co-directing sometimes because his advice is really good. But even he respects. It's like, no, it's yours. You edit it. You do. You know, he'll watch it and give his opinion. But I mean, it's not like, you know, he doesn't share directing credit or anything because I don't want him to. But no, like as an actor or something, I'm trying to think like what would be a fun one to like work with as an actor. Kubrick, that'd be a lot of fun. I always hear some interesting stuff about Scorsese. Like even if he doesn't make a good movie, it's just such an experience working with him. I'm not even like, you know, I like Scorsese fine, but I'm not like in love with the stuff or anything.
How about Altman?
The same thing I hear. Yeah, I hear about that. Like he's really good at allowing. No, you know what? The dude that does like Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead. What's the name of that? Edgar Wright. That'd be fun. Yeah. I would love to see how he puts those together because that comedy is so fast and so good, and I can't tell what's improvised and what isn't. But there's just this energy to the whole thing. Or maybe like the set of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, because the same thing. There's just like this energy to it, and they're just so on top of everything that it's like, how much of that is improvised and how much is it written? I think it's all written, but it's very, very impressive. I like to see how they do that.
I would love to. For me, it would definitely be as an actor. I'm like the school of like point and shoot, shot on shitio directing, so I would get fired within minutes of like trying to co-direct something. As an actor, though, I like acting better than directing anyway, but probably like one of those classic like Italian horror directors, like being on set of some like crazy Bruno Mattei movie, like Hell of the Living Dead, or like The Other Hell, and like Violence in a Women's Prison and stuff like that, or like movies like a Ruggero Deodato movie, like something like House at the Edge of the Park. I would have a blast doing that. Just like over the top, sleazy villain. That'd be really cool.
I don't know who directed Parks and Recreation, this show, but it is my favorite thing in the entire world, and I'm so sad I will never be on that show. And that's what I would choose. Go back in time, be in that show.
I want to work with Joss Whedon because he seems to like make a lot of fun fun movies. But just out of sheer curiosity, like I want to see like what it's like to be directed by like Spike Lee, or even like and I just gotta know like M. Night Shyamalan. Like I have to know. You know, I want to know what happens. Like what's the process of him being on set and directing? I need to see it.
It's fascinating.
Yeah, to believe it. You know, to see how he ends up at the end product. Like, so this is how we got here. It makes sense now.
His technique for sucking charisma.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
And did you have another one or no?
Oh yeah. Yeah. This is for Doug. What's up next for Disney-cember?
What's up next for Disney-cember?
Yeah.
You'll all be very happy. It's the direct-to-DVD sequels. I'm up to Mulan 2. It's not the worst made one, but I will say it's my least favorite. It's really bad. Like something about that one, I felt insulted by it. I like the first film fine. I don't love it or anything. I think it's okay. But suddenly I see it as like a masterpiece after seeing Mulan 2.
Are there still any good ones or anything?
There actually was one good one so far. I'll give it away. It's the most random one. The second 101 Dalmatians I thought was actually good. And like nobody's seen that. Why would you? But it's actually a sort of fun, silly, weird. I didn't know where it was going, and it focuses more on Cruella de Vil, and she's really funny and even more psychotic. And she has this weird side story, and then even the main characters are like, there's kind of almost like this Zach Brannigan dog that this puppy befriends, and it's kind of quiet, and it kind of has like that same artistic style. It kind of feels like almost like Wallace and Gromit or Chicken Runners. It almost feels kind of like an art house kids movie. And I actually like that one okay. Like I can't say it's phenomenal, but like, yeah, that was good. I thought that was actually pretty good.
So I don't have to answer the director one, huh?
No.
Oh.
I know you want to work with the director of Mulan too, so I mean, so who would you like to work with the director?
Well, aside from James Whale, because I loved his early horror stuff, if I was a kid, I would like to work with Spielberg. And the reason being that when we did all this shooting with Dante, of course, our first deal, what was it like on Hook? What's it like working with Spielberg and everything like that?
Well, that was your stuff. Mine was, it wasn't like working on Avatar.
Yeah, well, there you go, you know. So, but with the Hook, he said Spielberg has a way, without really insulting you, of getting exactly what he wants. And I think it's a good deal with the director.
Actually, something kind of a weird comparison, but when I was doing the music for the Chipmunk song, Rob Scallon put the song. Well, my dad did too, but the actual recording of the audio was done by Rob Scallon. And I have a voice, but it's not directed very well. Like I'm not always the best at hitting notes and stuff like that, and getting the feel of it. And he's really good at like kind of what you said, just not insulting in any way. He'll just sort of be like, you know, all right, so let's try one, just however you do it, and he'll listen to it and say, all right, but now let's really do it. Like let's really do one here. And I just know what he's talking about. You know, it's like you put the attitude in it, put in the feel, you know, really much harder, and then it'll be like, you know, bring it back a bit on this one. Bring it back, you know, just a hint less, and say like, I don't know. I kind of follow that. Really, I know what he's talking about. He'll get it. He'll make me sound amazing.
And he's so cute.
Oh no, they know Rob Scallon. Yeah, no, she's dating Rob Scallon. So cool. All right. Next question. Let's do back there the glasses, black shirt or gray shirt. Yeah.
What's a movie that you like as a kid but you hate now as an adult?
Okay, there's a couple. That I hate as an adult. I'm trying to think. Like, hate is tough.
Or you just really didn't like it?
Just really didn't like it. I can point to one that I know is not good, but I still have a soft spot for it. I loved it as a kid, and now I'm like, okay, it's not good, but I have a soft spot. The Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings. Because that was my introduction to Lord of the Rings. That got me to read the books. And there are some things in that movie I think are better than the Jackson one, but it's clearly not better. The Jackson ones are a lot better. The same thing with the first Ninja Turtles. I don't technically think that's a good film, but for what it is and what it had to give, I think it's very impressive, and I think they do a pretty good job. They give the audience exactly what they want, in my opinion, in that one. So, what about you?
Nothing that I probably that I liked as a kid and then rewatched and then hated, because there might be something that I might rewatch and maybe don't like for the same reasons as I liked as a kid. But okay, like Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. Liking that movie now is different than in 1991. So like, that movie comes out in 1991, and I saw it as a kid, and yeah, of course, really enjoyed the hell out of it. Watching it again now, which I actually did like a week or so ago, with some friends I got together and watched it, and I was like, yeah, I'm still enjoying this movie for a different reason I did when I was 10. Like it was more just kind of like it's like a time capsule of 1991, and you're watching it, and you're suddenly thinking back to a bunch of stuff you were doing that year and like kind of where you were in life in 1991. I was kind of laughing too, like, oh my god, my dad took me to see this in the theater and he probably hated it. That's probably real, that was really, really funny. So I can totally get enjoyment still to this day out of stuff that I liked as a kid. Maybe for different reasons, like Ninja Turtles too, but still for solid reasons.
How about you, Tamara?
Rockadoodle.
You can thank me for that one.
I loved the crap out of that movie, like so much. And no, I watched your review on it. Oh god. Yeah, I still like the songs though.
How about you, Malcolm?
I don't know. Barney and Friends just isn't.
That's what this was up here.
Yeah, it is.
We're just not what we used to be.
But I'm trying to think. Mostly like I can point back to like a series like Dragon Ball Z, obviously. Like I love that stuff as a kid. I mean, and it still has like interesting points to it. You know, it's the hero's journey, obviously. But you know, now looking back at it, I know that it's like pretty formulaic, and it goes back to the same. It's like, you know, a villain shows up, they have to fight, they get their ass kicked, they have to train, they defeat him. Goku is usually throwing a spirit bomb, you know. But yeah, no. Now looking back, I know it's just kind of like really formulaic. But I know Dragon Ball, the series preceding it, it's actually it's a much stronger story because it's a little more. It's funnier. It's a comedy. That's how it's supposed to be. But Dragon Ball Z tried to make it a little more serious, which is probably not a good idea. Yeah.
But you did.
When I was a kid, I loved Disney cartoons. Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Goofy. And I thought, this is funny. And then I would turn on Looney Tunes and I would go, I don't get half the jokes on this.
Oh.
And then I got older and I said, man, where was my head at? Looney Tunes is so much superior.
At least in terms of laugh.
Yeah, and in terms of writing.
Yeah, like the artistry in a lot of the Disney ones can be very, very good. Some of the Looney Tunes can be really good in terms of the artistry, but like the Disney sort of had the artistry, but Looney Tunes had, you know, also good animation, but it was there for the jokes. It was funny.
And if you're older, you love the Looney Tunes, because you get the jokes.
I loved it as a kid.
Me too.
Still love Looney Tunes. Yeah, I'd watch those tapes over and over.
I still have some of them, so it's great seeing like some of the commercial breaks on something I taped in like 1986.
Can I borrow those?
I was hell yeah. I grew up on Looney Tunes. I watched Looney Tunes more than I watched like regular Saturday morning cartoons in the 80s. I mean, I watched that stuff too, but I saw Looney Tunes way more. Stuff like Transformers and things like that.
I think I watched that more too. Turtles was kind of the big one that was just like, you know, nope, you're ours. Like that just grabbed me like it grabbed every kid. It's like, you know, I will buy whatever you tell me to. Cool. Other questions? Let's see. Brad, you pick one.
Hi. This question is for Doug and Brad mainly, but if it applies to any of you five, please feel free to jump in. I love all five of you, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks. What was the film, if you remember, that planted that first seed that made you react strongly enough to go, I need everyone that I can find to know my opinion of this film? Like, that planted the seed to become, like, I want to be a critic that people hear.
To trot.
People have to know how bad this is.
People need to know how great it is.
Honestly, probably the first. It sounds weird, but probably the first one I did for Nostalgia Critic, that drug cartoon, because I really was going through that nostalgic phase, and I thought, this is funny. It was funny that this happened. It was for a good cause, but it just didn't do the cause right.
Was that the big cameo mashup?
Yeah, the
Okay.
Ninja Turtles and Winnie the Pooh and stuff like that. And I just thought it was so funny, and I'm like, I think I can say funny things about this. And that's sort of what convinced me to start making videos and sort of talk about that whole nostalgic thing, talk about Space Jam and like Transformers and stuff like that. Yeah, something about that one. I think nobody could look at it and say, not interested. They just, what? What is this? What? All the cartoons got together? Because, I mean, especially with copyrights nowadays, I mean, they're just so die hard, nobody does this, but just knowing all these Saturday morning cartoons came together, and it was just totally botched. I think it's just so intriguing. So I guess I'll say that one.
I honestly don't know. That'd probably be a better question for my parents, because for as far back as I can remember, I've always been the type who watches a bunch of movies and then just shoots the shit about them afterwards. Like, ever since I was a kid, my parents would, because I was never into sports or anything like that, so I was parked in front of the TV, sweet. My parents would probably say E.T., probably, because they said they took me to go see that in the theater when I was a kid, but I was one, so I don't have the memory of seeing that in the theater. But they said, like, you know, ever since then, like, you know, I was fixated on watching movies and then talking about them afterwards and stuff like that. So, like, E.T., Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom.
All the Spielberg stuff, right?
Yeah, other stuff too, like Vacation, Revenge of the Nerds, because I was big into those 80s, like silly comedies and things like that. Porky's. Classic.
Did any of you guys have an answer at all? Or?
For acting, it was definitely Wizard of Oz. For sure. I watched that, oh my gosh, almost every day.
It's amazing how legitimately good those performances are. Yeah. You think like kids film whatever, but they're really good.
Yeah.
The Witch is so good in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to do was be Dorothy. And look at me now, sexy Dorothy.
Oh man, just watching films in general. Like I remember when I watched, again, Jackie Chan, one of his films called The Drunken Master.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that in theaters with my older brother because he's a huge martial artist nut. And I saw that, I was watching, I'm like, wow, this film, it takes me through like a range of emotions because he's so funny and at the same time there's like moments in there, it's like, oh God, you know, it's like, that looks like it's brutal, it looks like it hurts, you know, I want to be able to like, you know, I want to be able to entertain, I want to be able to convey emotions that, you know, tell a story and something that I can, you know, make my audience connect with me on that kind of level. So yeah, that kind of like helped springboard me to wanting to become an entertainer.
I loved science fiction as a kid, and so I loved Forbidden Planet. It was a wonderful sci-fi movie, but it didn't scare me, but it had great electronic music and everything. And then I saw this movie that actually, I saw it in the theater, and then it showed up as a Misty 3K movie called This Island Earth. And This Island Earth had the scariest, for me, monster in it. Giant head, the brain hanging out, claws like this, you know. Just,
now he's an extra in Looney Tunes Back in Action.
Yeah. There you go. So those early sci-fi movies really got me interested in following that stream.
Cool. Other question. Tamara, why don't you pick the next one?
Yes, you. Yes.
Well, to stop with the Revenge of the Nerds drop,
Nice.
just a little segue. It's my bachelor party. I have 13 of my friends here dressed up as.
Oh, That's so funny, you're at a nerd convention. That's really funny.
Trophy full of question, but one I feel is necessary. Favorite beer and/or cocktail?
Favorite cocktail, I love a Manhattan. Pretty much any kind of Manhattan I love. Favorite beer, shit. And I'll say the one that's just top of my head. I love Dragon's Milk. That's a really good beer.
Oh man, you took mine.
Oh, is that
I love those styles.
Yeah. Favorite cocktail. Favorite cocktail.
Favorite cocktail for me, it's not really a cocktail. It's rum and Coke with a twist of lime.
That's cocktail. That counts.
Beer, probably Flying Dog. In terms of beer, cocktail, I don't know, like kind of like what you just said. Anymore, if I go out to the bar and get something other than a beer, it's like a cranberry vodka or something.
Anything IPA for sure.
Yeah, well,
Same here.
And my favorite whiskey is Lagavulin from Parks and Rec because Ron Swanson drinks it, and I ordered it, and it's so good. It's so good.
Let's see, me. Cocktail, I guess it's a cocktail. Moscow Mules, I really like that. And beer, I'm not really a big fan of beer, but I like ciders. Angry Orchard? I like Angry Orchard.
Those are good.
Yeah, those are good. I like my
Good question, man. Never got asked it before. Let's see. Malcolm, why don't you pick the next one?
Oh, next one. Right there. Yeah, right.
I got 2 questions. One for you, Malcolm, and one for Brad. Don't mind asking Brad's first. One's a message from my friend. He couldn't make it. He's got a bone marrow transplant going on right now.
Wow.
Terrible, but he wanted me to tell you he loves you.
Thank you.
I was hoping I could get on camera you telling him you love him back.
Totally.
Okay. His name's Dan.
Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on up.
Yeah, come on up, please.
Hey! Alright. Yeah, just, I love you, Dan, or whatever you want to say to him.
No problem. Okay. Hey, Dan. Just.
Right,
Oh, sorry.
It's premature
now. Now that I know it's recording. I love you too, Dan. Take care, man.
Alright, thank you, man. And for you, Malcolm, want to let you know that, like, out of every joke I've probably ever heard, honestly, the funniest thing I've seen, I think about it, when I saw it, I was laughing for probably half an hour straight, was in the Shining miniseries.
Oh, yes.
Complete whiteface.
Oh, God. Yeah,
I was just wondering what, like, when you saw that in the script or whatever, what your thought process was on the joke.
I was just like, and I am totally okay with this.
Yeah, I was gonna say you want to tell them the story.
We gotta tell them the story.
Yeah, like, I saw it in the script, and like, it was funny because, like, you and Rob were going back and forth about, like, how should I make my voice sound? And, we were practicing it, and Jim was, putting me up in the makeup, and we're standing in the middle of this forest, like, it's a bike path in the forest, and, people are jogging by, looking, and this guy is, like, coming by, and he's, like, looking at us, like, I'm just like, I want to go into your libraries. We're like right across the street from this library. And he just keeps looking and keeps going. So yeah, that was really fun. Yeah, I thought it was a hilarious joke. And I just let, like, Rob and Doug, argue amongst themselves.
Yeah, we were just like,
I think you should be up here. I think you should be down here. I think you should be up here.
Yeah, it was kind of like, I wanted to start like the nerdy, talking like this, and Rob wanted kind of the Sarah Palin, oh, don't you know, kind of voice, and we just went back. You found kind of like a nice compromise.
Yeah, I just combined it.
And we get this deal that says, we've got to dress up Malcolm in white guy clothes. And we said, that's what he normally wears anyway. No, even whiter.
No, like really white guy. That's why I gave him like some of my shirts.
I think you had on what?
Just a purple
plaid,
white pants.
Yeah, and a pair of gray Docker slacks. I mean, pure white. Pure vanilla.
Well, that's it. Why don't you pick the next person?
Okay. Hand up here in the blue.
It's actually for everybody except Doug.
You too, buddy.
In the eventual rematch between Doug and a certain angry video game nerd, would you guys be open or want to be involved in that?
In a fight between me and the nerd, another fight with me and the nerd?
Oh.
Involved in it?
I can't say anything.
No. That would be the first time I'd be like, you know what, Doug? No. Not feeling this one, man. Yeah, hell yeah, I would.
Totally, yeah, I'd be down for that.
We kind of did something like that this weekend.
Yeah.
Ish. Well, watch the Titanic review, you'll see. There's kind of something like that.
I'd love to be a cheerleader for the nerd.
Yeah, cheerleader costume.
Nice.
Cool. All right, next question here. Let's see. Let's do, I don't know what that blue thing, red, yeah, whatever it is, but yeah, I'll do that.
So, Danny Sexbang from Ninja Sex Party.
Well, of course.
When you picked a movie to review, what's your kind of process from bringing out your criticisms to how you present them in like the written format for the actual show?
It just kind of depends. Like, my brother and I will watch it, and we'll just sort of shout jokes at it, like Mystery Science Theater kind of, and I'll write down the ones I think are the funniest, and then it's kind of up to me whether or not it's like, okay, so should this one just be the line and that's it, or should we turn this into a character? Should there be a whole story around this? Should I take this line and really talk about the ideas of it and analyze it, or should it just be very short and simple? So it just kind of depends. You know, you just kind of go with your gut and where's the review kind of taking you a little bit. That's kind of how mine works. How about you?
Yeah, like, it depends on what kind of episode it is. Like, an episode on something like Strokemon would be... that's a thing. That would be a much more, like, riff-heavy episode. But then other things like Friday the 13th or Mommy Dearest would really amplify, like, the stuck-up snob personality and are kind of, like, in doing that is kind of complimenting the movie, but through this voice of this snob character. And then there's other ones where it's like, no, fuck this movie, like Wired, the Belushi bio that's just awful. There's episodes like that where it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna take a giant piss on this movie for like 30 minutes. So it all just depends on I mean, the process of watching it and taking notes is the same, because it's just me on the laptop with one window open with the movie and one with notes, and I'm just taking notes. So that's kind of it. It just all depends on the mood.
Why'd you pick the next one? Brad.
Me? Oh, green shirt.
Right, thanks. Okay, from the Nicolas Cage Mouth episodes, what is your favorite to all?
The favorite review that I did for the Nicolas Cage?
Yes.
Yeah, Wicker Man. Yeah. Not only is that movie funny, not only do I think the review is funny, it was, because that was our first introduction to Tamara,
Yes,
that was kind of like a good feeling knowing it's like, okay, this is working, and we knew it was working. And I think anytime we do something new or introduce somebody new, you know, the internet, we hate anything new, and people just accepted her right away, and I think that's because the way it was written, the way it was edited, and the way she did the performance, it was just immediately like we just, okay, like we picked her and we knew we wanted her, but it was just like we knew it was really gonna work. Like, okay, this is really gonna be good stuff, and we got a good person here. So yeah, definitely that one. Let's see. Oh, that's it. Why'd you pick the next one?
That's so nice. Thanks, Doug. Yes.
Yeah. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
But just all of us, or just
all of you? Yeah.
Yeah, Empire. Empire, yeah, for me.
Empire, I would say, is like objectively the best one. The one I probably go back and watch the most is probably Return of the Jedi. So I watched it the most when I was a kid. So it's kind of the same way for me now. I love that fucking movie.
I love that movie, yeah. It's between those two, for sure.
Yeah, Malcolm?
Yeah, I'd say Empire. But I really feel like episode 3 gets too much flack.
No. It doesn't get enough flack.
It just felt very climactic.
There's a lot of stuff I like in 3.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good, but it's like there's enough stuff. I'm like, I'm glad I saw this. Like, this is worth seeing.
I have another suggestion, because yesterday I had my picture taken with you, but it was blurry, so I was like, oh no, the picture's ruined. So is it okay if I go up here and take another picture?
Yeah, sure.
Come on.
No.
We should all cover our faces.
This is not a democracy.
Make sure to take a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we
Where's
all
your
in
button
time?
on this?
Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
I think I got it. There we go.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yes, thank you. Press it halfway and then press it completely.
Oh, okay.
I'm really sorry.
Every camera's totally
Do one more,
different.
Yeah, it's
just
be
be
so.
Oh wow, that one went really quickly.
And that's the only one we're doing, people. We're not doing anything. Okay, come to the signing if you want more.
Damn it! Breaks his
Malcolm, why don't you pick the next one?
Next one. Oh yeah. Batman shirt. Like,
Just curious, when I know you guys have solved the issue currently, but when you got a claim on the room, what was the first thing that actually like went into your mind?
Well, what was the first thing that went in my mind when I got the claim on the room? The most recent claim, the strike. To be fair, there were 2 strikes. It was that, and then the interview that he said, yes, let's do the interview. And then years later said, take it down. Yeah, it was just like, fucker. There's no other word. That's just one. It's just like, fucker. That's about all I can say about it.
Yeah, I was like, more like, what do you think? What was he even? What do you think he was even thinking?
Oh, what was he thinking? Nobody can figure out what he's thinking. Your guess is as good as mine. You could be thinking of oatmeal and you could be right. You can't figure it out. I mean, nobody can. So, yeah. And honestly, I don't even care. I just want him to stop. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Dan, why don't you pick the next one?
Okay, our photographer here.
Yeah.
It's actually more of a question for not only Tamara, but it kind of applies to everyone. Have you ever like gotten a script and seen a joke and been like, no, I'm not doing that?
There's been lots. To be fair, there's been lots of times I'm like, if you're uncomfortable, please say so. I don't want you to be uncomfortable.
I don't think there has for me. I think I've got a lot of people being mad at me for doing certain jokes. Like, why would you say yes to do that? I'm like, well, I'm an actor, so I don't personally believe this. Neither does Doug, probably. It's like, it's an acting job. That's what acting is. So I don't think so. Not for me.
Well, no, there was one time when we threatened that we were going to review 50 Shades of Grey.
And I was like, yeah, Malcolm can be the girl.
Actually, the funny thing, because we did tease that in the Jurassic World one, because we didn't know, we're like, well, how maybe this will be a funny movie to do, and then we're like, we can't get any material out of this.
Oh my god, what about Sexy Dorothy being it, though?
But Rob really wanted to do it with sock puppets. And he said that, so he wanted to build up that, like all the pervs out there, Tamara's gonna be 50 Shades of Grey, and and so everybody, ooh, and they watch it, it's like, she would be, it'd be her hand, and then when she has to strip, you just take the sock off. Just wrap the string around the fingers. How about you?
Again, no, it's the same thing with Tamara. I can't really think of too much. Again, like, Doug will, contact us and, ask us if this is okay or something. We'll be like, we could make adjustments to it. Oh, actually, the Ghostbusters review, I was supposed to have played Patty.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
But my friend KJ, who identifies as both male and female, we got him to go ahead and do that role. So that worked out perfectly.
Still technically putting a guy in drag.
Yeah, technically, but he definitely felt, he could pull it off better than I would. So
yeah, he did, definitely.
Yeah, and
I mean, no offense. Has the equipment.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, I feel like, he would do a better job than I would playing Patty. Yeah, he was really good. So.
Yeah, did really good.
That's how you got that Ghostbuster review. So.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's see. Someone else here. Someone I haven't heard from yet. Let's see. Oh, I gotta do paw.
Me?
No, the other one with that. No, the one with the actual paws. Yes.
Yes.
All right. Would you say that there's any redeemable qualities about the Gem and the Holograms movie?
I'll say. Yes. I mean, I'll be very honest. I had a huge laugh watching that movie. I thought it was very, very funny and how bad it was. Rob, for him, it's like one of the top 3 worst movies he's ever seen reviewed. It just rubbed him the exact wrong way. It rubbed me the exact right way for how bad it was, so I was having a ball laughing at it. I do think the whole fan thing, that is, extremely insulting. And actually, I like in the YouTube comments, there's 1 or 2 people that were like, yeah, I sent a video for that, and I am really insulted. I'm the person in this video here, and you can check out my video here, and this isn't what they said, and they were really pissed off. It is awful. I understand anyone that says it's awful, and I think it's awful, but it did make me laugh for how awful it was.
I'm kind of in your boat too, because
I mean, we did grow up, but then we didn't have a
exactly. But even with that, I could still tell looking at it, it was just cynical crap.
Yeah, it was just not what it was.
But when we saw it in the theater, this was the Saturday opening weekend, and we were the only ones there.
So it was a Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. So it was me and Brian at the 7 p.m. screening, and we're the only ones in there. So yeah, we could talk and laugh at the shit we're fucking watching on the screen. So we kind of had fun watching it too in that regard, of just commenting on it, just being like, what in the hell is this? Now, if it were a crowded theater and we were in there watching it, be quiet, probably a totally different experience.
That'd be really tough.
But I'm kind of with you on that, because we laugh quite a bit at a lot of the unintentionally funny parts in that movie, but that was so bad.
Why don't you pick the next one? Next, Tam.
Beer.
What advice would you have for, say, in terms of things like scheduling, securing locations and whatnot, for someone who'd like to make a low-budget movie in the vein of something like Clerks or Game Boys or Mean Streets or something like that?
Ask. I mean, it sounds silly, but it's just try. You'd be shocked how many you'll get a lot of no's, but you only need a couple of yeses.
And also just in terms of like scheduling and like how to get schedules to align and whatnot.
Hire someone who's good at scheduling, because I'm not good at scheduling. That's why I don't even attempt.
I can say this: when I was doing. Most of the time, I worked alone, and then when I had to do the anniversaries, they kind of got bigger and bigger, and they're already long shoots, but it was getting to a point where, like, the way I could schedule them, I said, look, here's what we think it's going to be, but we don't know, anything can happen, it's a shoot, anything can happen, but it got to a point where it was obvious my scheduling was going way beyond, hey, something could happen, or something could go wrong, they were just going way too long. So finally, and as more and more people were getting involved, it was like, oh my God, I'm putting all these people through so much hard work, and they're staying up hours and hours and hours, and that's not fair to them and stuff. So finally, what I did when I started demo reel, I said, I gotta change this. So however, and I still do this, however long I think it's gonna take, I double it. So if I think it'll take a half hour to shoot something, like realistically, I think it'll take a half hour, I make it an hour. And that, so if you finish early, great. If something goes wrong, you have that leeway. So that's what I do.
I do that too, actually, when I'm doing stuff for like the snuff. Like if I'm doing something for like the reviewers, or back when I did 80s Dan, I did the same thing.
I know one technique I've sometimes used is like sometimes you'll do like a scene where two people are in a bar, and it's like, okay, you get the reverse shot of this person when they're available, and then 6 months later, okay, the other person's schedule freed up, now you get the other half.
Oh yeah, and lots
Sometimes
of movies,
you have to do that.
Yeah, do that and stuff like that. I remember in Tivoli Fleeters one day Lindsay wasn't feeling well, and we had a lot of group shots. But we had so many people, we could just shoot, and if she had a line, you just cut over to the other side. Oh, there she is, talking. She was just over there the whole time, So you work with it in the moment, There's just things that you do, to work around it and stuff. And we kind of found out there's a few people, not everybody's mind works that way. It's like, well, this is what's in the script, so it can't change. It can't change, but it's filmmaking's a compromise, man. You just always gotta compromise. Even if you have complete control and you have everything you want, shit's gonna happen and you need a compromise. Let's see, other questions here. Yeah, young lady right there.
For each of you, what was like the character or like maybe the costume that was kind of the most complicated and the longest?
I'll let you answer that first.
Me?
Oh, any of you.
Oh. I'm trying to figure out like which one. Let's see. It's gotta be. It's between Goliath and Pencilhead. Yeah, one of the two. I gotta go with Pencilhead, because like just the makeup, like getting the prosthetic spirit gum to stick on my face, and then getting painted over in this blue paint, and then getting the white lines drawn on my face. It was pretty intense, and I was sitting in that chair for like about half an hour, and then we would have to like make little touch-ups. Yeah, it was pretty intense. That was the most uncomfortable makeup, but I'll gladly do it again because it was fun.
Because it was fun.
Because it was fun.
I think probably Furiosa or Curiosa, just because of the arm being like, I couldn't use it all day, and like touching my face with the makeup, and it was warm, so I was like sweating it off, and like, I don't have an arm. But I dressed up as her at convention, so obviously not too bad.
Gosh, my costumes have all been really easy. even in like suburban nights, everyone had like poor Phelan's the rock biter, and I'm just like, Indiana Jones jacket, hat. You betrayed Shiva. I've actually never really had a really complicated costume. Like I remember I did a movie called Hooker with a Heart of Gold, and one of the characters I played in it had an eye patch, and I also directed this movie. So I'm going around with this and directing this movie, and I lost my peripheral vision, so I kept tripping over things as we're directing the movie. That got really slapsticky behind the scenes. Other than that, though, I've had pretty good luck with really easy costumes.
For me, anytime I've had to do anything, how much time we got here? Oh, we're out?
Bye, everyone.
Oh, it ends at 4? Oh, I thought it at 4:30. Oh, sorry, that did. Okay, I'll just say the Hocus Pocus one. That was good.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
So, guys, yeah, if you get a chance to talk to us, we're gonna be here tomorrow. We're also gonna be signing over on the Canadian side, so hopefully we'll see you there. Bye.